Dean Martin walks onto Elvis Presley's stage in the middle of Love Me Tender. No invitation, a little bourbon. 1,500 people freeze. The band hiccups for half a beat. Every eye fixes on Elvis. And what he does next isn't anger or ego or security. He smiles, real, easy, and warm, and the room tilts toward grace. It's August 1969 at the International Hotel in Las Vegas. The city is neon and perfume and champagne that's been flowing since 9. Movie bosses own the front tables. Hollywood royalty holds the corners. Elvis, 34, focused, newly formidable, has turned the showroom into a chapel. The lights are a soft gold halo. The band is locked so tight you can feel hearts stop and souls soar. Love Me Tender floats over the crowd like a benediction. Nobody sees Dean slip in. No Rat Pack entourage, no casino handlers, no camera flashes, just a black tux moving through the aisles like smoke. He's had a few, not stumbling, just looser than the famously controlled version of himself. He's been in town a week, keeping to late cards and quiet rooms, and the only thing he really wants is to hear Elvis sing without the fuss. But for Dean Martin, the stage is gravity. Watching won't be enough. He rises up the side steps as if he belongs there, as if this were planned, as if sharing a microphone with Elvis Presley is the most natural thing in the world. At stage left, he reaches for the spare mic, lifts it from its stand, and on the final verse of Love Me Tender, he adds a harmony that sits under Elvis like velvet. The band stumbles, recovers. The audience gasps as one. This is the moment everyone in the room will remember. Does the king protect the crown or share it? Elvis never breaks. The lyric holds steady. His eyes track the approach. His mouth curves, not the practiced lip curl, but a human smile. He slides half a step to center, opens space for Dean at his side, tips his own microphone to blend. It's the welcome of a host, not the defense of a throne. Their voices meet and something happens that no rehearsal could have manufactured. Dean's smooth baritone lays the floor. Elvis's raw ache lifts the ceiling. The air changes. People look at strangers next to them just to confirm this is real. The last harmony hangs like incense. Then the applause detonates. It's not polite, it's volcanic. Dean's eyes clear as he realizes exactly what he's done. He had walked uninvited into the most intimate moment of Elvis's set and started singing. He braces for the joke that cuts, for the quiet escort off stage, for the dignity tax you pay when you overstep in front of 1,500 witnesses. Instead, Elvis leans into the microphone with that soft southern drawl. "Ladies and gentlemen, you might know this gentleman. He's been known to croon a tune or two." The room laughs. The tension dissolves. Elvis turns to Dean, the smile still easy. "What do you say, Mr. Martin? You came all this way? Might as well stay for another song." Hold that feeling. If you're watching this right now, tell me where you're tuning in from and what time it is where you are, because the next part is the reason this night lives in legend. What follows is an hour no one planned and no one has ever replicated. Elvis calls a tune everyone knows. Dean finds the low line and slides into it like home. The band, pros to the bone, locks in as if they've rehearsed this for weeks. They trade songs back and forth the way old friends trade stories over a backyard piano. Elvis soars. Dean glides. The crowd goes from ecstatic to reverent and back again, afraid to even whisper in case they miss the moment that will become the line in the story they tell for the rest of their lives. Between numbers, the teasing is gentle and brotherly. At one point, Dean leans in and says something too quiet for the microphones. Whatever it is, Elvis's laugh is unguarded, spontaneous and bright, not the practiced chuckle of a performer working a room. Then, loud enough for the back row, Elvis grins and says, "You know your problem? Too much talent and not enough caution. Lucky for both of us, I've got enough stage to share." The place erupts. Laughter, applause, relief, delight. It isn't rivalry, it's recognition. Every show has to end, even the ones that feel outside of time. Schedules, contracts, backstage obligations, they wait for no magic. But before the final number, Elvis does the thing that cements his reputation for the rest of his life. He sets his microphone back in its stand with a little ceremony and looks out at the room. These folks came for a show, and I think they got more than they bargained for. Before I head backstage and find something cold to drink, I want my friend here to do what he does best, what he does smoother than anyone in this town or any other. He turns to Dean and offers a hand that's part invitation, part blessing. "It's all yours, Mr. Martin." Dean stands in the light Elvis has just given him and, without irony, without the armor, sings. For 20 minutes, the king of cool is a kid from Ohio who loves a melody more than anything. The wink is there, but softer. The polish is there, but thinner. He picks ballads that don't require anything but a voice and the courage to be seen. Between songs, he talks a little, stories that feel more like a friend's living room than a showroom. When the last note finally fades, the ovation rolls forward like surf hitting a perfect beach and pulling back in reluctant waves. Backstage, in the narrow corridor where the lights run cooler and the velvet is threadbare, the bourbon's gone and the weight of the night is heavy. Dean finds Elvis. His voice is rough from singing in emotion. "Mr. Presley," he says, "what I did was unprofessional. You had every right to have me taken off that stage." He's not performing, he's confessing. Elvis meets him with a hand on the shoulder and the kind of look that cuts through the armor performers put on to survive. "Mr. Martin," he says, gentle and direct, "here's the truth about what we do. We're just trying to touch people's hearts. Strip away the lights and the money and the screaming fans, and that's the job. To make strangers feel less alone for a little while. Tonight those folks saw something you can't plan or buy. You didn't ruin my show, you made it better. And if you ever forget that, call me and I'll remind you." There's a long beat while that sinks in. In an industry that rewards sharp elbows and thin skin, this is oxygen. Dean finally swallows and nods, eyes bright. "They told me you were different," he says. "I believe them now." The friendship that starts that night isn't loud. There aren't photo ops or gossip columns fed on purpose. It's phone calls when calendars line up, a hug and a few quiet minutes when cities overlap, respect that doesn't need a spotlight, the kind of bond that matters more than awards or headlines because it lives in the spaces no one sees. Years later, after Dean Martin passes on Christmas Day, his family finds a box of personal keepsakes. Tucked inside is a photograph no one remembers seeing before. Elvis and Dean backstage at the International, arms around each other's shoulders, grinning like men who have learned something good about people and can't quite believe their luck. On the back, in Dean's hand, 6 words: "The classiest kid I ever met." 2 kings, 1 stage, 1 decision, to collaborate instead of compete. That was the night Elvis Presley taught a room full of impossible witnesses what real grace looks like when the pressure is white hot. And it leaves a question that doesn't go away. If someone stepped into your moment, unannounced, unplanned, maybe even a little out of line, would you make room or push them out of the light? Tell me where you're watching from and the last time someone's generosity made your day better. And if you want the next chapter, how Elvis kept treating Dean like royalty when the years got heavy, say part 2 in the comments.